many of you might be surprised to learn that I am a chicken farmer, and I enjoy the best quality eggs that money can't buy. And what I'd like to do today is to share a little bit about why I raise chickens and why homegrown eggs are the best. And to start, I passed around 3 dozen eggs, and these were laid by my very own hens. And I'd like you to look at them and guess how many laying hens I have. And you can tell by looking at the different shapes and sizes and colors which hen laid which egg. And there's a prize if you guess right, and you'll be able to have the choice of taking some home if you like. So just the first hint I'll give you is that I do have 11 hens, and they're not all laying.
Some are too young, some are too old.
So please pass them around and still pay attention. You might think that all chicken eggs are alike except for the color and shape or size, but scientific studies have shown that this is definitely not true. The nutritional value varies and taste varies as well. And one thing that I'd like to share with you is that when chicken eggs are, well, first of all, chicken eggs are very nutritious. They have all of the essential amino acids that we require, and they also provide several vitamins and minerals. And they're especially good for our brains because they have folic acid and the B12 and the choline content. And although they do have high cholesterol, studies have shown that the cholesterol isn't readily absorbed. So you can eat an egg with cholesterol in it and not get cholesterol in your body. And we've all heard the saying that you are what you eat. Well, this is really true about these eggs because the diet of the laying hen can greatly affect nutritional quality and the taste of the eggs. Pasture-raised, free-range hens that forage largely for their own food tend to produce eggs with less cholesterol and less fat, and also several times higher the proportion of vitamins and omega fatty acids than standard factory eggs. And interestingly, my hens know the difference. One thing that I do is I feed my hens lots of table scraps, and I feed them the shells after we've eaten the eggs. And one time of year there's molting, and so they don't lay eggs during that time. Usually it's in the fall. And so I'll buy eggs from the store. And the hens love to eat their own eggshells, but they wouldn't touch the ones from the store. And you know, it's because it's different, and they know that it's not the same nutrition. And one thing that happens is the egg producers try to help us to understand the quality of eggs by writing on the carton, but it's very difficult to figure out what it all means because they say cage-free, they say barn-raised, they say organic, they say range-fed, and you really have trouble telling what that really means because range-fed might sound like they're pasture-fed, but indeed it could be a great big barn with just a little hole in the end, and the hens would only get out if they happen to discover the exit. So it's very important to understand what all these things mean if you're going to go buy something at the store, and you can look at these cartons here. The other thing is the freshness. Eggs have a very long shelf life, and in the United States, the freshness date is determined from when it's actually packed. They can be for weeks, maybe even months before they actually pack the eggs. And indeed what they say on the carton is they have a number between 1 and 365, and that number tells you what day of the year they were packed. And then the sell-by date is often much later than that, and you can see on these cartons some examples. In the UK and other areas they do it differently, but you never really know how old they are. There's a few ways that you can determine that yourself after you have your eggs. They get lighter when they're older because there's an air package in each egg, and that expands with age. if they float when you're putting them in boiling water, they're probably too old to eat, and that happens quite often. And also the yolk, if you have a really fresh egg and you put it down to fry it, it'll be very round, like a half sphere, and the older ones are more flat. So in summary, the reason why I grow my own raise my own hens, is because the eggs are much better quality, and I know how fresh they are, and it's just a joy. They're so easy to take care of, and they taste wonderful. And I'd like to know if we have any guesses on how many eggs there are. Okay, so how many? Okay, go ahead.
I think it's 9.
9. And what do you think?
5.
5.
5.
5.
6.
6.
8.
5. 4.
8.
8. Nobody guessed 7? Yes, it is. It's 7. But actually, some of them lay very rarely. So it's possible that the 7th egg isn't in there because these represent 10 days of eggs, and I've eaten a few, so maybe So what we'll do is we can cut these cartons in half if anyone wants, if there are too many people to take a dozen, and you're welcome to just help yourself. Thank you very much.
Those eggs are much too pretty to boil for Easter eggs, aren't they?
You don't need to color them.